Hello, everyone. We are live. Today is Thursday, and as you know, it is interview day. So, before we start, just a few housekeeping tips. Oh, by the way, if you're live, down below in the comment, hashtag live. If you're joining us in the replay, hashtag replay. Do tell me where you're coming from. As you know, I'm coming from Mexico, and we will find out where our guest is. She's either in Sicily or she's in New Zealand. We'll find that out. And also, above the video or below it, you will see a strip that says StreamYard. Would you click on that, please? And that will allow StreamYard to use your name because we would love for you to interact with us so that you can ask questions, you can make comments, or maybe you just want to react. And if you just want to react, then do send us beautiful love hearts, all right? Because the algorithm loves it, and so do we. So, usually, I tell you what I have in common with my guests. We are both members of the Launch Lab Academy, for one thing. We have mentors that are common: Tony Robbins, Dean Graciosi, just to name a few. And so today, my guest is a coach. She's an entrepreneur. She is a wife. I want you to meet my awesome guest today, Georgia. Georgia. Oh, well, let me see. Let me be. There you are, Georgia. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Lucy. This is amazing. I'm very well. Thank you for inviting me. It's very nice to be here. That's my pleasure, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you
Oh,
very
well,
much.
you are very welcome. You are very welcome. Let's see. We have somebody who has joined us already. Hello, Sister Lucy, and that is from that wonderful person who always joins our our StreamYard live events. So tell me, I said you were either in Sicily or you were in New Zealand. I know you were on vacation. Are you back from vacation?
I'm back from vacation. I came home
You are
yesterday.
back from vacation?
It was amazing. That was 10 days holiday, which was present for my 60s from my husband.
Oh, how nice. What a nice husband. And you just, it's another, a new decade for you.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes, it is.
So tell me, how do you feel about being 60? Does it feel any different?
No, it's just number.
Good
It is
attitude.
It is
Good.
just number. It
Right.
is. I'm not looking at the dates. I'm not looking at the years. I'm looking to keep myself in good shape, in good condition, in good spirit, and do what I love doing.
Right. How wonderful. Now, you tell me you just came back from Sicily. What a nice life. I mean, is this the kind of life that working online affords you, that you can take off whenever you want?
It will be. That's amazing. That's what I love. And Sicily is specifically. I love it there because it reminds me a lot of Colombia, where I spent 2 years in past.
Ah,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. I'd love to go to Sicily. It's on my, so they say, bucket list. I don't really have a bucket list, but Sicily is something that appeals to me. And isn't it in Sicily, Italy? Is Sicily considered part of Italy, or is it an entity unto itself?
I
It,
think it is belong to Italy.
it does belong to Italy. Isn't it where longevity, one of the, it's called the blue zone, where
Yes.
it
Yes.
is,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. It
So
is.
did you see a lot of older people who were, full of joy and passion, and
Yes,
you did,
yes. We were traveling by car. We hired a car and we traveled along the coast.
right?
So we were traveling all the 10 days, and I have seen many amazing people. And even though I do not speak Italian, but I speak Spanish a little bit,
Right.
so I was using my Spanish. And when you speak slowly, they understand and they really appreciate. Whenever country you go and you use or try to use their language, the people behave completely differently.
You're absolutely right. It's been my experience also when you try and
Yeah.
you even make the effort, it's because
Yes.
you recognize, that it's a different culture, it's a
Yes.
different language. And so,
Yes.
absolutely, I find people are very grateful about that.
Yeah.
So, Georgia, let's talk a little bit about your background, because you certainly have an interesting one. You were born in Czech Republic
Yes.
during the deep communism. Russian was your second language, not English, because that's what it was in school.
Yes.
So, how long did you study Russian, by the way?
I was learning Russian for 8 years.
Oh, wow! And how has
4 years.
it helped you at all in your?
No.
No.
No, no, I didn't. And that was only the option at the time. I started at primary school and continue at the secondary school for another 4 years, and it was only the option. Well, there was another option of German language, which I that time didn't want to do it,
Mhm.
but it was just only a small option. But I always wanted to learn English, but that simply there wasn't where to learn. There was only just one book available.
Wow.
One book for English was available.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, in today's world, we just cannot comprehend that. So tell me, when did you leave the Czech Republic? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Hmm. I spent my as you know my passion horses, and I spent 11 years working on horse farm after my school,
Well,
and then I had children. I had my son, then sorry, my daughter. Then 10 years later, my son. And when I was working on a horse farm, I got across. Well, it was actually a present from my mom. The best present I've ever got was book by Monty Roberts, The
oh,
Man Who Listens to Horses.
oh, how
And I
wonderful.
read that one in the Czech language, but because I love horses so much and I wanted to learn more, I had finally the right motivation to learn English, and there wasn't a way to stop me.
That's it. So you are a wife and you're a mom, and so you're a horsewoman also. So you not only
Yes.
did you take care of horses, I'm sure you rode a lot of the horses, and you must be a great horsewoman. Oh my God, that's so. So okay, so how old were you when you left the Czech Republic?
I left in 2002, and
Okay.
I left for 3 months only.
Mhm.
I went to New Zealand to English school, international English school, but somehow happened that I stayed there for 8 years.
You like that number eight, don't you? It's an infinity number.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So 8 yeah, but you're in New Zealand now, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm sitting in the Czech Republic.
Oh, so now you're back into the Czech Republic.
Yes,
Okay, well,
yes.
how did that happen? So, tell me about that transition.
I was there, as I said, from 2002 to 2010.
Mhm.
Went back to Czech Republic and simply as a immigrant, if I will say it like that,
Right.
I wasn't sure if I want to be there or if I want to be here. So also my mom had 80s, so I came back for her 80s,
Okay.
and I decided that I would like to stay here. But I mean, in the from the 2010, I went back to New Zealand and I spent another probably 3 years there, I would say. Last one, I came back last year, and that was after 2 years being in New Zealand. So, and I also have a New Zealand husband for
Oh,
20 years.
a New Zealander. Okay, so
Yeah,
New Zealand's kind of in your blood a little bit, right? Yeah, sure.
just a little bit. That's my second home. Yeah.
So this is very interesting. Now, I know that you are passionate, really passionate about helping people achieve their dreams.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you do that, Georgia?
This is very, very interesting. And as you know, and as you were saying, we both were learning from Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and those people. And I joined the Own My Future challenge.
Mhm.
I can't remember. I think it was 2020.
I think it was, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, big one.
And
Amazing.
then there was everything was perfect, and then I was like, what am I going to teach?
Right.
What am I going to do? What I'm going to help people with? And there is one thing, and I prepared a course about it. I created a special technique for memorizing vocabulary. So I put that course on the mastermind, and it was like covering for all the languages because I thought
Right.
that would be interesting. And then one lady who is very dear friend of mine, I think she may be watching because she signed up for it. We had a lot of discussions, and it was, I was in a Facebook group, and I was joining different workshop and different challenges and stuff like that. And because I get across to many Americans, I suddenly notice that I cannot understand, and they didn't understand me.
Wow.
And that time I was already in teaching. I was teaching the language for longer than 10 years or 12 years, something like that.
Wow.
And even though I had huge problems to understand, I was chatting with this lady a lot, and she actually put me back to English. That's her who put me back to it. And
Mhm.
I because I was dealing with the challenges, and I was looking for the way how to get over it, how to be able to speak
Right.
to people so they will understand. Because, as you know, when you're talking to someone, the language doesn't have to be perfect,
No, it doesn't. You can
but
talk
you
with your
need,
hands, you can talk with your
yes,
gestures, you can
but
point.
you need to make sure that you understand what the people are saying and that they understand to you.
Right.
And I think I'm very good in that because the people who I whom I taught, they were all people who had a dream or who wanted the language for something.
Mm-hmm.
They was very specific.
Right.
And I tell you, when someone came to me and tell me, "Oh, I would like to try," and I see 2 3 months if it works, I usually told the person, "I'm sorry, but I don't have time for that."
Right. 2, 3 months,
You
Yeah.
know, when you want something, you can achieve it. And then I learn from my own mistakes, because going to New Zealand, that wasn't easy, because that time I was like learning myself
Mm-hmm.
for about 3 years, and I got to New Zealand and I noticed that I didn't understand anything.
Wow.
just
That's interesting. Yeah.
just nothing.
Wow.
And I noticed that I didn't know. I was learning grammar, but I didn't know enough words.
Right.
I
Grammar's
wanted to
not enough.
speak and I didn't have the word. So I that sometimes took me like 10 15 minutes to explain what I wanted to say.
Right.
So I started putting these things together. And when I noticed that I'm having challenges to speak and I'm having challenges that people didn't understand me, and I was having challenges to understand what they were saying to me, I was like, with help of this beautiful lady, I was like, well, I helped so many people to
Mhm.
achieve what they wanted. I found out how to get over these issues, how to find the confidence, how to increase the confidence, and how to speak confidently. So I was like, there are many people who are non-native speaker in the business.
Right.
So I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to help the people with. There are, as you know, there are many different parts what we have to learn in the online business.
Right.
But if you nowadays you can use ChatGPT to write for you,
Right.
you still want to speak, you still want to connect with the people, you still want to make the personal impact and personal connection. And if you cannot speak, or if you cannot understand, or if they cannot understand you, that's not possible.
It's really interesting, Georgia, because you mentioned that the Own Your Future Challenge, you were in there and you actually wrote a course. Now, it, I love Tony and I love Dean, and I'm an affiliate of theirs and of
Mhm.
the course, and I do really believe it. But for some reason, people think that they have to write a course with that. You know, there's led to beliefs for some reason, because I did the same thing with KBB. I
Yeah,
took 6 months off and I wrote a course, and I put it up on, it wasn't called Mastermind then, it was called Mint Mine or something. And I didn't know what to do with it. Nobody came, and I didn't know anything about marketing. So it's interesting that you said you write a course, but it gets the ball rolling, doesn't it? It gets the
yes.
ball rolling. I guess you take them one step ahead of the other. So I know that people have so many dreams, and but can you kind of tell me how you go about helping somebody who is a non-native? What is it that you help them with? I know that the challenge is speaking English, but are you helping them to be a coach, or are you helping them to write a course? What are you helping them with?
I am helping them to be confident and can speak.
Okay.
Okay? People can say, oh, there are many language courses. And there are thousands of language courses. But what I'm doing is not a language course, and I know what is important, and I'm specifying on the confidence part
Mm-hmm.
mostly. And then there are few the language elements which are necessary for us to be able to explain or say what we want to say.
Right.
And also there are sort of like techniques or method how to learn to understand and what to do if we don't understand, stuff like that. And I have been in this industry, if I will say it like that, and in teaching for almost 15 years,
Okay.
taught hundreds of people.
Like ESL,
Hundreds.
like an ESL teacher?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So I
Right.
know what is important and
Right.
what they can omit,
Right.
and
Exactly.
the people they get in the online business, they usually speak English.
Right.
This is not about teaching them basic or anything. This is just give them a few little steps.
Right.
First, gain the confidence, and then the elements of the language which are important. I'm
Right.
not teaching them any specific grammar, present perfect, or anything like that. No, there are English courses they can go.
Right.
I'm just teaching them and I'm helping them to be able to connect. I personally take the language as a
It is a bridge. Yeah.
bridge between people, you know?
Right. It's a means of connecting,
Yeah,
basically. You're right. You're absolutely right. Let me ask you something. You did mention that you, at one point, you said, "Oh my God, people don't understand me." Was that like a turning point for you? Was that the epiphany that got you started on this journey?
I almost given up, to
Really?
be honest. It took quite some time that I was like, this is like, what am I going to do?
Right.
I didn't know what to do. And then I think that was the time I actually met Mike. And
Okay.
I noticed that in the group were many non-native speakers. And I met another non-native speakers who were in business. So I was like, I'm teaching the language and I have a doubt about myself and the people they do it. So there has to be way. So I started looking for the way first how to increase my own confidence,
Right.
be able to speak, which I found out. And honestly, my English is not perfect and probably never will be perfect. But so
And
what?
not, yeah, native speakers are native speakers, and non-native speakers are non-native speakers. I live in Mexico. I totally get it. I speak Spanish. I will never be a native speaker. I
Yes.
totally understand. Yeah,
Yeah, there are many people who want to sound like native speakers, but why?
yeah,
Our accent is our uniqueness. This is something what is our personality. That's something
right.
special. So why to change it?
And embrace it, right?
Yeah,
Let that be the center of your passion. You
yeah.
know, I'm a non-native speaker, and I'm proud of it, so to speak. I should,
Yes, yes. So that was like finding myself how to increase the confidence
Mhm.
was the first step. And then I was thinking, they might be people who will need the same. So that was the starting point, and then support of the lady I already spoke about,
Hmm.
who got me actually back to English. She told me, I see you doing the English because you are very good in it.
And she was right. She was right, right? And so when did you hook up with the Launch Lab Academy, where we are both?
It wasn't, I think that was 2020, the same year as the On My Future. I got in contact with Mike. He was helping me with some stuff on like through computers, through
Right.
technology stuff. And then I was on the 3 days challenge, Athena's challenge,
Mhm.
and then I joined the
A
Launch Lab.
non-native speaker also who had,
Yes,
same
yes,
problem. Yeah. And you're right. We are, and my team, we are an intergenerational, multinational team. And you are right. There are lots of people in the membership that are non-native speakers. And because we're global today, we're, you know, I mean, so, yes, English is the language of business, but we're not all English, so to speak. So,
yes,
so,
exactly.
so did you know at one point? Did you? I mean, I know that this lady influenced you a lot. Did you know at one point that you really wanted to be a coach?
Yes, yes, and that's very interesting because I never thought about it before actually the challenge, before
Mm-hmm.
the On My Future challenge, that the whole years I was teaching, that was practically coaching anyway.
Yes.
At least 50% of my teaching was coaching because I was getting people. I tell you, I advertised only once when I started, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was getting people on recommendation.
Wow. Yeah.
They were coming, and most of them, or not most of them, but a lot of them were coming to me saying, I was in this language school, this language school, you are the last one I'm going to do with.
Wow.
And I help practically all of them who wanted. I'm saying that honestly, who wanted, I help them.
Wonderful.
If you
Wonderful.
don't want, it is worse when you than if you cannot.
Well, you have to want to be able to be helped. So tell me, what's been your I know that you have followed the course and you've done the coursework for the Launch Lab. What has been your challenge? Can you maybe talk a little bit about that? You
Yeah,
know,
we can. Yeah, the biggest challenge for me was the framework.
okay. Why was that? The word itself, you mean?
As well,
Yeah.
yes, the word
Yeah.
itself is a little bit scary, and also I just somehow I don't know why I somehow couldn't get it through my head. I heard it so many times, and I know that in Lunch Lab I did the Lunch Lab twice, and I also did the Project Next twice. And
Mm-hmm.
last year I followed the Project Next with you, which was amazing help. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the framework sort of like it's like how to do it. I know that Dean always talks about the accordion,
Yeah.
that you can have a 1 hour, 3 hours, 3 days, 5 weeks, whatever. And I was like, how to do it. And it suddenly clicked when I was working with Eden, and when I was working with Mike, who was helping me to finalize the 3 days workshop,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly clicked, and it's there.
It's there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but I launched 3 times.
I know. Congratulations, congratulations. Let's talk about that, Georgia, because people. What does it mean to launch in the Launch Lab? We use this jargon a lot. But there are people who may be listening to this replay, and what does it mean to launch? Can you explain that to the audience a little bit, please?
Well, I don't know if I'm the right person to
Oh, yes,
explain
you
it,
are. Oh, yes, you are.
but I will try. Launching for me means to talk to the audience I want to attract, and attract them to come to my free event.
Okay, I think we had a little bit of technical issue there. You froze for a little bit. So
Okay.
so launching for me is the last thing I heard. Launching for me is to attract. That was the last.
Is to talk to the people I want to attract,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so they will come to my free event
Yeah.
where I can show them how I can help them.
Okay, great. And but insofar as the Launch Lab Academy, it's a series of steps, right? It's
Oh
taking
yes,
the framework and going through all of the steps so
yes.
that when you get to the end, when you're ready to launch your business, when you're ready to talk about your business, you know all the steps. And what are can you talk about what some of those steps are that you particularly had to learn that you didn't know anything about?
Yeah, I I was having challenges a little bit with the ideal client because as a lecturer, as a coach, I wanted to help everyone.
Right. And you
so
help nobody if you do.
it took me a little while because I was like, if I concentrate only on this specific audience, these people won't. I won't be able to help them. I want to help everyone.
Mhm.
And then I learn, and that's again the things what you are saying and what Tony Robbins is saying, that repetition is mother of skills.
Right.
I heard it, I don't know, 100 times, and then once it clicked, and I think that was from Raf when
Okay.
he was explaining that you have your ideal client, and it doesn't mean that if someone else come, you will tell him, "No, you are not my ideal client. Go away."
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's a matter. So what we teach you in the Launch Lab is how to prepare your space, your workspace, and that would be
Yes.
the profile, that would be your Facebook group, and that would be your event, and how to find your ideal client, right? And then how to can you mention some other things that you learned also? Because there's a process. It's a process.
That's how to how to put together the whatever event
Yeah.
I wanted to do, and how to put together the offer stack
Yes.
was
Mhm.
one very important part
Right.
for me as well, and how to create the campaign actually.
Right.
That was very very important, that to have everything prepared in advance, and when you start launching,
Right.
you just only go and you have a time to communicate with whoever react to
Right.
your posts or your messages. So
As I'm getting the message, I forgot to turn off my phone. Did you hear that in the background?
yes, yes, little bit. That's okay.
So yes, and that's really important, the campaign, right? The campaign, because there is a time where, let's talk about, you are actually here because you are about to launch
Yes,
another campaign. Now,
yes.
this is your fourth launch. Can you explain to people, because they're going, fourth launch, what does that mean? Okay, you joined about 3 years ago. Why is it taking you so long? Can you explain? Because you already said repetition is the mother of skill. We know that we have to repeat and repeat until it's a habit. It's like
Yeah.
brushing your teeth, that you don't have to think about it, right? Yeah.
And there are also, because there are so many things, little things involved, which you in the Lounge Lab help me, if I will talk about me, horrendously. Okay.
Mhm.
As I said, as I mentioned before, I did the Project Next twice. It's brilliant. But the little steps are not there,
Yeah.
which you are helping people with, which were missing for me, you know. Like what you were saying, creating the right the profile, the Facebook profile, the Facebook group profile, the messages, all that I had to learn. I didn't know anything, and
Right.
I'm not
It's
exactly a computer guru, so it was a little bit challenging for me, but I learned that. And fourth launch is that every time I launched, I learned something new and something click, and I add, oh, I forgot this. And the second launch, I was like only 2 weeks. I was launching only 2 weeks, and when I started launching, I noticed in the third day, it's not enough.
Right.
That's too short.
Right.
So the third launch, I have a month, and then I
Yeah.
noticed,
To
it's too
prepare. Right.
long. So this time I'm going to do for 3 weeks.
Isn't that
And
interesting? Because you learned that, and yet you heard that. You heard that, but you
yes,
had to experience it, didn't you?
yes, you have to experience it, and
Yeah.
then suddenly it clicks. You know, you we learn from our own mistakes, if I will
Absolutely.
say it like that. You know, and everything is happening for a reason. And yes, it is process. You are teaching the process, and you are teaching it beautifully. As
Thank
I
you.
said, I won't be able to do it without your help. That's for sure.
Thank you.
I Everyone who is listening, I won't be able to be sitting here without the help of those four amazing people: Lucy, Mike, Athena, and Eden. They are amazing, and they do maximum for all of us to launch.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's talk about this next launch, which is your fourth launch, because it's
Yeah,
so exciting.
that is,
I love your determination because it does take determination, right? I
yes, it
mean,
does.
people go, what's this? I've launched twice. Where are my people? Why don't I have clients?
Yeah.
This doesn't work. It's so easy to say this doesn't work. But
Nothing happens overnight.
no, you didn't learn to walk in 2 days either.
No,
When you were a toddler, you learned to crawl first, and then you learned to get up, and then you learned to take little steps, and then you learned to all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can walk.
obviously, yeah.
So you're going to be launching on Monday on September 11th. Tell me exactly what that means. What are you going to do on September 11th? By the way, that's a big date.
It is.
For 11. Was that intentional?
No, no,
Okay.
I even didn't notice it, to be honest. What I'm going to do, okay, I prepared my posts for all 3 weeks. They're
Okay.
already prepared, and I have my calendar, and I use the calendar which Eden shared because that was the best for me, where I have exactly which Facebook group I'm going to post and which post I'm going to put there, and I'm going to communicate with the people. It is so funny because there, like in Launch Lab, there are 9 steps you teach.
Right.
It is a lot to learn, and I met quite few people, quite a lot actually, who were learning all that, but then they didn't pay attention to this part what I'm helping them with, which
Yeah.
is the language, which is the communication with the people, and they think that it will go itself, or then they prepare everything and find out that they actually are not able to speak, but
Yeah.
they somehow, like, if I
Took it for
was like
granted. Yeah.
omitting this part of it, and that's very important because the communication is basic of everything.
Absolutely, right. Okay. And so you're launching on the 9th, and that means that you're going to be for 3 weeks posting and reaching out to people and I don't want to use the word pushing your program, but that's really what you do. You one talks to about your program. So tell me, this is going to culminate in a free 3-day workshop, is it not?
Yes,
And
yes, it is.
what
Yes.
are the dates for your free 3-day workshops?
The dates are 2nd,
October
3rd,
2nd,
and
right?
4th October.
Okay, so October 2nd, folks, October 3rd, and October 4th is the free 3-day workshop that Georgia is going to have. All right, so make sure that you put that on your calendar. We will be giving you the information in the comment below underneath this video. You know how to contact Georgia if you want. But Georgia, let's talk a little bit more about your workshop. Who, if I said to you, who is this for? Because I know at one point you wanted to teach everybody. So you said that yourself. So who is this workshop for?
Yeah. I specifically love helping women who are 55 and older
Okay,
because taking it by myself, we get in the stage when we sometime start thinking that we are not happy with something in our life. We want to
right,
change something, whatever it is, to be financially independent or make impact to the world or specifically helping people or contribute to community or whatever it is.
right.
It is usually the age, and the
Yeah.
ladies need help.
So ladies over 50, we are having technical issues, by the way, because you're freezing and coming on. So I don't know if it's on my side or your side. So forgive us for the technical issues, but I'm making sure to repeat, whatever is not being heard because I'm not hearing it also. So this is for the women who are over 50, non-native speakers, and basically for people who are discontented with their life. All right, they may need more. They're looking to increase their income, maybe they're looking to change their lifestyle, maybe they want to travel more, maybe they want to be with the family more, maybe they, maybe whatever. Or they just want to contribute to society. There's a void and they want to start impacting people's lives, right? And Georgia mentions that that's the age where that starts to happen to us. Okay, okay. So we already went over the when. It's going to be October 2nd, October 3rd, and October 4th. Now, is it all day October 2nd, all day October 3rd, all day October 4th? Can we be
No, no, no.
specific?
It is approximately an hour a day.
Do we know a time or haven't you determined that yet?
No, no, no. I haven't set it up yet.
But
So
it's going to
that
be
will,
about an hour a day.
yeah.
Okay, good. And of course, we know where it's going to be virtual and it's going to be Zoom. So there'll be a
Yes.
Zoom link where you can participate. And why is Georgia doing this? We've heard it over and over. Georgia, I don't know if you want to repeat. I mean, I heard you say, I want to help non-native speakers
Yeah.
be able to speak confidently, and
And
so
in order to achieve whatever dream you have.
right. So follow your dream. If it's and if you're not a non-native speaker, it doesn't matter. You have a dream, make it happen. Georgia is there for you. Folks, do not hesitate to contact Georgia. And it says down below here in the tickler, it says, please contact Georgia by email. And it's TETAJIRA, and that would be tetahira in Spanish at yahoo.com. But no worry, folks, we're going to have that in the comments below so that all you have to do is copy and paste, and there won't be any problems here. So there's a comment here that says, Damu says, Georgia, how could you get to help younger children, especially girls? That's a good question.
I usually do not work with children. I work with adults
Mm-hmm.
predominantly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's another JC Smith says, what steps do I need to follow to achieve my dream? Whoa, that's a big question.
It is.
I don't. Well, how could you tell him in 2 sentences, Georgia? Because I know you've had that experience.
Never stop dreaming
Uh-huh.
and never stop going for what you want.
And
Never.
what, JC, your heart knows what you want. All right.
Yes.
And one of the most important things you can ask yourself, JC, is what would I love? What would I love right now? Who
Yeah.
would I love to be? What would I love to do? Ask yourself that every day. Write down the answer. Don't think, just write down the answers and
Yes.
do it for a week and you'll see all of a sudden, yeah, you'll find out what it is that you really love to do.
You know
So,
what is important, what is interesting, because Smith sound to me like English name. It remind me something. At my last workshop, my last free event, there was
mm-hmm,
a lady who is actually American,
uh-huh.
and she told me that I helped her horrendously, even she is a native speaker of English.
Wow, wow. So,
She
you're right.
wrote-
Georgia, you're right. You can help everybody.
yeah, because the big part of the workshop is the confidence. As
Exactly.
I said, I will repeat it again if I can. It is not a language course.
Hmm.
I'm helping people with confidence, to gain the confidence to speak even if their English isn't perfect.
So, Damu, I want to go back to you. How can you help the younger children, especially girls? It's self-esteem, self-confidence. That's where it starts, and then all of a sudden, the spirit speaks and moves, and so they have the young ladies. We have to help them feel that who they are is just enough. They are just enough and they're perfect just the way they are, you know? And so build the self confidence with them. So, Georgia, I just want to thank you so very much. Again, I just want to repeat that the launch begins September 11th. However, the free 3-day workshops, October 2nd, October 3rd, and October 4th. And we'll have all of that information for you. So do not worry about it. And I'll have also the information about how you can reach Georgia. Georgia, do you have, we have a big audience, Georgia, and we have a lot of people who are stuck, who just don't know what to do, where to go next. What advice would you have for, especially women who are stuck? They want to be online, they don't know who to trust or where to start. Any advice?
That's depend. I would say it depends what they want to achieve. If they want to do whatever an online business, whatever they can help people with, because there are many people. Someone can help with cooking, someone can help with losing weight, someone can help with um, sport or fitness or whatever. But it is it is it is not complicated, but we simply need to learn the steps as I learned them. And I personally will advise, go to Launch Lab, because these
There you
people
go.
who are there. And I'm not saying that because I'm with you, not at all. I'm saying that because I know how it helped me.
Right,
I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to do it.
right.
And there are little steps, as I said, they are not complicated, but there is a process which is need to be followed, and a lot of passion and a lot of patience also.
Ah, the two P's, passion and patience. Oh, wow. Thank you, Georgia, for that wise information. And you heard it from Georgia. You need not do this alone. All right, Launch Lab,
Definitely not.
is here for you down below. Just, next level, message us, myself or Aiden, or even Georgia. She will direct you in the
Mm,
right direction. So thank you, Georgia, for being here. I wish you all the best in this next launch.
thank you very much.
We're rooting for you because your success is our success. And so, my audience today, thank you for being here. And I'll see you next week for another wonderful interview. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Bye.
You're very welcome. Bye bye.